This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 881. I am Brian Kilby. Radio Free Cybertron is the world's first and oldest toy and action figure podcast since 1999. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. We're so old. With me this week, we have Chris.
Hey!
Who is also old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Don.
I'm older than all y'all. I die first. I win.
That's not how it
Not
works.
necessarily.
Yeah,
Wait
no,
a minute. That's not the way it goes.
That's not how it works.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn.
Rob.
One of my favorite moments on Superhero Time is still when they were talking about ages of things, and somebody said Rob Clay is as old as Gundam, and they all went, "Oh,
It's true, though, isn't it?
it is."
Gundam is 79.
Yep, 45th anniversary was about a month ago.
Matt.
Yeah, I'm
John.
trying to remember something else that I'm as old as that people would recognize, but I'm drawing a blank.
You're almost as old as Gundam. Yeah.
Well, I'm as old as you and Rob. I mean, just, with a couple months, give
Yeah.
or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John. And Diecast.
Nope. I was trying to look up who was born on my birthday in 1980 so I could keep the thing going. And you called on me like a split second too fast. And as
Sorry.
I'm talking, yes, I am looking that up. Let's see what else. What do I got? What do I got?
I thought you were. I
John
thought
is
you were
older
born
than
in-
Knight Rider. How about that?
That's true.
John is older than Knight
I was
Rider.
thinking you were born in 81, so it's only a year.
No, I was born in 80. So dang, man, nothing's coming up. I'll get back to you.
Okay, Diecast. Who was born on your birthday
Who was born on my birthday?
besides you?
I don't know.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did kind of change the tenor of the question here from what notable thing happened the year you were born to
To the specific day.
yeah. Most people don't have that connection like readily at hand. Even John's having to actually go like on a Wikipedia dive for it.
I found one.
Oh.
This is something that happened on my day. I'm not on the day I was born. I'm not so proud of this,
The
but it
nurses
is
all
very
gathered
notable.
round? Think he's White Wonder?
And hey, it relates back to Transformers.
Oh,
Oh.
Mount St. Helens erupted
well, there you
on my
go.
birthday.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
cool.
Yeah.
Not so cool if you were anywhere near Mount St. Helens. But
No.
Right.
No.
Hey,
But
I
that-
got
but-
one too.
What?
If this is correct, Diaclone, 1982.
I mean, I've got the most relevant one in that, I'm from the same year as Transformers.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and Ninja Turtles,
Oh yeah,
actually.
was that the same year? Wow.
80, yeah.
it was.
Their self-published comic was 84. The larger popular explosion of Ninja Turtles started in 87, I think.
That makes sense.
Diaclone would have been 82. Diaclone Car Robots, right?
Yeah, Car Robots.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
was-
Diaclone was maybe as early as 79, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, Car Robots. Yeah,
Yeah.
The one that matters to us.
Diaclone.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So, speaking of things that happened on days, on Thursday there was a Transformers stream, and
Good try.
I didn't know that there was going to be anything besides the Robos and Megatron.
Same.
Diecast said the same thing, and apparently there was news and stuff in this.
Yeah, a little bit. Some product reveals.
Did-
The comic edition Grimlock went up for pre-order. We've been wondering when that was going to appear because Shockwave had gone up already about a month earlier, a few weeks to a month earlier. So you remember last week we had the leaks of Legacy Cybertron, Hotshot, and Legacy Nucleus, the retool of whatever the first Rock Lordizer was.
Magnus.
Yeah, thank you. We'd had those drop during Showtime last week. We got the full proper reveals and the pre-orders for those went up. I still think that Cybertron Hotshot looks really nice. They said on the stream that it was actually fully a Takara initiative, that toy, and Hasbro basically just did I don't know, maybe a little bit of consulting with the design work. Pretty much a reversal of how things usually go, where Hasbro is initiating the character choices, and a lot of times the basic appearance, and then Takara goes in and figures out how to engineer that into a functional toy. So like that, it's going to sound meaner than I intend, but that's probably why Cybertron Hotshot here looks so much distinctly different from the other legacy toys that are around it in this wave.
I really like the face sculpt on it.
Yeah, no, it's turned out really well, and like I'll look forward to getting the Exilian version
Yes.
next summer because that's going to be really pretty.
Mhm.
But like the more I see of this too, the more I'm really hoping like when this actually hits that Target will have another like one of those 30% off sales so I can grab it for, $17 or something. Like I would still get this on discount even though it's the version I want less, but like I'm really happy with how that looks. Vector Prime, we'd only had the renders for at Showtime last week. Mark Mayer has actually put up behind the scenes for it on the Instagram already, and they had a sample in hand for the stream, so I was looking that over a little bit. The behind the scenes for that, I'm kind of jumping ahead a couple bullet points here. There's actually one frame in there where the proposed mold layouts for the new parts are shown, which we don't usually get to see that.
Oh, neat.
I think it's probably not the final version because in that it notes that the sword would have been on the nylon sprue, which is almost certainly not the case because I don't think you can do clear nylon. And the sword is definitely clear on the toy as produced. But yeah, so Vector Prime looks like it might have a little bit less clear plastic than G-Axis did. From what I can see, it looks like the front chest piece might not be on the clear plastic sprue, which, less clear plastic will make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And Mark was doing everything he could to say that Nucleus was based on a Cylon Centurion without using the words Cylon Centurion or Galactica.
Thank God I wasn't the only one. Because that is the very, I thought, no, there's no way they can be basing it off, but that is exactly what I thought when I saw that.
Yeah, that's exactly what
figure.
that head is. And like, again, he was doing everything he could to try to convey that without using any specific terminology.
Yeah.
My only regret is they did not find a way to retool the alt mode to look like a Cylon Raider. Because then I would have had, well, okay, I'm glad they didn't because I would have had to buy it then, but
So I wonder if they used the Origins Bumblebee, changed the head and changed the color.
Yeah, so actually, remember they originally planned for Velocitron Cosmos to be a partial off of Origin Bumblebee, and in the concept work they did, it looked more than a little bit like a Cylon Raider. It would not have been the right colors, obviously, but like they were getting close to it already. So of course we also had that Through the Space Bridge segment as part of the stream.
Did you mention Sideburn?
Why would I mention Sideburn? It's terrible.
So I just wanted to make this point.
Okay.
Looking at this,
yeah,
I just thought it was Shadow Striker.
The colors are pretty similar.
Just looking at them, like, why are they showing a Shadow Striker? I unfortunately have that, and
because it is Shadow Striker just with a new head and blue and white instead of purple.
Yeah, to me, it looks from just at a glance, it looks exactly the same. It is really disappointing.
And like Shadow Striker, I haven't looked at original Sideburn in quite some time, but to the best of my memory, Shadow Striker's body color is closer to original Sideburn's body color than new Sideburn is.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I mean, that's at least how that toy is tinted in my memory. I'm not gonna say like the inside of my head is not full of sunshine and cigarette smoke that's discoloring the memory of toys.
Like,
but
I remember him being pretty blue.
Okay.
So there's a couple of repaints that we'll get, but Super Sideburn will at least.
They should have gone with the Super Sideburn colors for this to make it more distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't worry, I'm sure that'll happen too.
Oh yeah, of course.
And like, especially since they have Cybertron Hotshot in this way, they got two blue, sports car-y robots. One who is like 30% bigger than the other, which I'm sure is not going to affect, impulsive purchasing decisions at all. Oh, this is so sad.
Also, Vector Prime, thumbs down.
Okay.
I'm perfectly
I
fine with my 20-year-old Vector Prime that I have now.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I totally get that. I think for the Eric Crownover generation, who, maybe came, like, they had that then, they didn't have it after their childhood, and they want to get that character back, it's a good option to not have to go back and buy probably an expensive vintage.
Can't be that much at Goodwill, like $3.
Well, if you want all the
The
parts,
chance
though,
on finding that at a Goodwill, though, that might be
yeah,
different.
honestly, I
And,
think
I miss
prices on that
Goodwill.
stuff may be going up because, that age is like collectors now.
yeah.
Time for me to sell.
And I think really the prime time to have gotten Cybertron toys at Goodwill would have been 2007, 2008, not 2024. When the parents are flushing out all of the kids' toys that they don't want them to have anymore.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get an old one cheaper than a new one.
Complete?
You can probably buy a couple incomplete ones and complete one for less than the Leader price point.
I thought Vector Prime was a Voyager.
Voyager. Oh, Voyager. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
it's Voyager. You can buy it for about the price of the Voyager toy.
You get the Takara version, but
yeah,
that is definitely more than a current Voyager.
What was the difference?
Yeah. More paint.
More paint on the Cyber Planet key, more paint on the wings.
I think the wings and the sword might have been a harder plastic on the Takara one.
I'm pretty sure they were.
I was like, I barely bought any Cybertron when they were new, and I was not importing Takara product at that point. So
yeah, I mean, like,
collection.
Like, for the most part, there wasn't a lot of Galaxy Force toys that were worth getting over the Hasbro equivalents. Vector Prime absolutely was one. Also, if you wanted the Voyager size Starscream in Starscream colors, Galaxy Force was the only way to do that.
Yep.
The Voyager size of that mold only came out from Hasbro as a 2-pack with a same as regular retail Vector Prime, but in like much redder leaning deco. And then a couple of years later in the Universe 2-pack with, what was it, the Roadbuster made from Cybertron Defense Hotshot? So
Sounds
like that,
right.
And
that
it was
Voyager,
Dirge.
yeah, it's Dirge. And then of course BotCon used that mold as Shattered Glass Starscream, but like Cybertron or Galaxy Force Starscream as a Voyager, only a Japan thing. Hasbro was going all in on the Supreme sized one for their as Starscream toy. So going back around to the Through the Space Bridge thing, obviously, no specific visuals yet because that's how the pipeline stuff works. They talked a little bit about the Leader class Springer that we're getting. It's going to be a heavy partial of Siege Springer.
Bumped up the
So
leader.
why is it a
Bumped up-
leader
Bumped up the
then?
leader.
Well, probably a lot of that's going to be to do with the retooling they've done, and they're also throwing in extra accessories to make up the gap. Hopefully this is going to work out better than Coronation Starscream, where there's been a number of years between the original release and the remade up, bumped up price point release with extra stuff that it will actually like have some collector value to it. We're also getting a new Studio Series 86 Bumblebee.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, it is. The popular theory is that they're doing this so that they have one that looks close enough to Bumblebee but does not use Volkswagen parts, so they don't have to license it every time they want to run it. Yeah, so we'll have to see like what that vehicle mode ends up looking like.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have on here?
They did mention Core Class was still a thing because they showed Steeljaw.
Yeah.
Or the animation of Steeljaw.
Yeah, I mean, they did pitch that, and like I wonder if that's going to come out anywhere other than like online retail at this point, though.
Well, wasn't Steeljaw coming in a 2 or 3 pack or
No,
something?
That's
that was
Ramhorn.
Ramhorn.
Oh, that was Ramhorn. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's Ramhorn coming with? I don't remember that.
Ratbat and Perceptor.
Yeah,
We talked about that last week.
yeah, that was last
So that
week's
could
show.
be a possibility. He
wasn't
could
here.
come in a pack with something.
I mean, they called it
probably
for-
wouldn't have showed him as through the space bridge then, like on his own.
Yeah, probably not.
And they did specifically mention it was core class.
Right. Yeah, if it was going to be part of a multi-pack, they would have talked more about the multi-pack itself and not called it by the single price point. I don't think.
So I wasn't listening during that part of the recording last week with
Mhm.
Perceptor. What are we expecting any retooling or anything?
Probably not retooling. I think it's probably going to be more like
Deco?
Perceptor without clear plastic,
Okay.
because Perceptor did have a little bit of clear plastic, and they can replace that with the sky blue or whatever.
Okay.
So after having this is how I presented it last week. After having the original release of Perceptor, the closeout 2-pack Perceptor, the package refresh Perceptor, now we're going to have another release of Perceptor. They're going whole hog on this. And of course, there was Magnificus, which nobody wanted to buy either.
So going back to the space bridge stuff, who wanted
Yeah.
another Straxus? Don raised his
Depending
hand.
on what he looks like, yeah.
Yeah,
if it's good, I won't say no.
Yeah.
This sounds like it might be another comic book edition thing. Because during the stream, Evan said that there were 2 more comic edition toys coming when he was talking about Grimlock's pre-orders going up. So if Straxus is one of them, that pretty much guarantees we're going to be getting another run of Voyager Blaster, probably with a new comics head and maybe the opaque rewind.
But would they repaint, or they retool or build a new mold for Straxus for the comics line?
It could very easily be retooled off of Galvatron.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because they both were flying space wedge cannons.
Yeah.
And Galvatron into Straxus, as best I can remember, was an originally planned thing for, I think, the second year of Legacy. And that got bumped in favor, I think, of Transmetal 2 Megatron. So plausibly, they have had the alternate tooling parts for Straxus sitting around for a while. And this is how they figured out how to use those parts.
So I don't remember that leak, but that makes sense. that would work.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Walkie actually did a mock-up, a Photoshoppy mock-up of Legacy Galvatron into a Straxus. And like his proposed modifications to the mold, I think, were very conservative and very effective. So like I could totally see that working really well. And then that it very strongly would imply the existence of a comics edition blaster, which would probably have, again, a new head, and
Oh, the head
we
was
can
great.
we can only hope that would be the opaque rewind, because I don't see then how we would get opaque rewind otherwise. At the same time, though, like it's kind of awful if they're going to expect us to buy that mold at least 2 times in any case to have
2 cassettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's another possibility there.
Yeah.
We could get a reissue of the scrounge that came with Combiner Wars Computron.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because that makes the most sense in a 2-pack with a new blaster
It does.
to include that scrounge figure.
So the cassette parts are basically mixed into the cassette door piece on Blaster, which is why eject and rewind were clear originally with Blaster and Twincast. So if they wanted to replace that cassette with a scrounge in any capacity, they'd have to retool the chest, or like it would have to swap out the whole clear plastic sprue. And like I'm certainly not saying they wouldn't or couldn't do that. I would more suspect to see if they wanted to make a new scrounge that they would use some of the retooling budget to just make a new tool that makes like a non-transforming scrounge little figure to go along with it.
On the other hand, they could just do the rewind mold in those colors, because a solid yellow chest door for Blaster would not be out of the question for a comic deco.
Right.
That would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Probably the least desirable outcome too, out of all the possibilities. So,
Well, yeah, because like his arm would be even less special then,
yeah,
and he wouldn't even be a wheel anymore.
yeah. I mean, it kind of fits for Scrounge to end up being a square wheel somehow, but yeah.
So, Bumblebee movie, Skywarp, yay.
Yeah.
So, are we thinking that the Decepticon grunt is going to be the barricade mold from
Almost
Studio
certainly,
Series?
Yeah, that looks like it.
Hopefully at least like for if they do any retooling with that, hopefully they will have updated the gun to match the current standard where it has a separate handheld peg and doesn't just have the arm replacement on it. Like hopefully that'll be something they try to work into these as they reuse the molds. But like otherwise, I'm not sure what really to expect to be new other than whatever deco choice they go for.
So,
But this is not the we don't think this is the devastation thing
no,
they were saying.
No, that's a separate
okay,
thing.
All right.
And that's in a 2-pack with a Ramjet redeco
And
anyway.
a Target exclusive, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey,
that sounds right.
Going back and talking about Springer.
Yeah.
What I mean, for Siege, we had like the paint masking issues with that, if I remember right, didn't we?
He was also a lot more blocky as a toy, and Springer has a much more rounded animation model, and they're going closer for Studio Series.
Because we need something to put with Sandstorm that'll look good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though honestly, I didn't have a big issue with that with the original version of it, but now I did get spoilers. I did get Sandstorm. We need something closer to the original. It's not like the toy. It's not. I mean, so Sandstorm does a pretty good job of looking like I want it to look.
Yeah, kind of treading the line.
Yeah.
Well, with Springer, they could include an actual sword.
They're going to.
Not okay.
I don't have the whole list of expected modifications in front of me, but there's going to be a helicopter blade that can become a sword, but also just a separate sword like the one you saw him use in the movie. He's going to have the artillery shell that he loads into that siege weapon, but not the siege weapon itself. Which, that's good because that would have ended up being like the Starscream's throne thing with an otherwise unchanged figure if they'd gone that route. What I remember being mentioned was like mostly the legs are going to be the same as the Siege version, which is fine because that was already engineered all right and it had the look well enough. But there's going to be changes to the arms, the torso, I think the head also. Some extra guns thrown in. So I mean, they're probably going to do what they need to get as close to like a cartoon robot look in a still functionally transforming thing while working within the confines of that original mold. My big hope for Studio Series Springer is that with the retooling, they make the chest transformation work more easily, more intuitively, because like I will tell you, one reason that I do not handle Siege Springer very much is because if I put that toy down for more than about 30 seconds, I can't remember how to transform the chest again. Like, it is such a weird process to transform the chest from, especially the helicopter mode. I don't remember if the car mode had the same difficulty, but like, it was so difficult to remember how to get that to come apart and go back to robot mode. And I really hope that's something that they engineer out with the retool.
If they're redoing the arms, the one thing that I want, which is so minor, is I want that single shot pop-up laser that he has when he takes a pot shot at Starscream right before they go transform Autobot City. It's weird, but I really want him to have that.
I mean, that's certainly something they could do. I mean, it wouldn't be pop-up, it would be like a hinge panel on the forearm with with a little cylinder molded into be that blaster barrel. Like, they could do that as an extra moving part if they've got a little bit of space on a sprue.
Yeah, I mean, Hot Rod has his sunglasses, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on these before we move on and skip the in-hand photos of Legacy Nucleus?
Sure.
Okay. So we have also in-hand photos of Legacy Nucleus. I don't know that there's anything that we want to talk about specifically other than...
No, just last week we only had like the one robot and one vehicle mode picture, so I tossed this in there in case anything else was coming up about that.
I like the fact that his weapon is basically his jets, and he's beating you to death with jet thrusters.
It's very reminiscent of Beast Machine's blast charge, where in robot mode his weapon is his missile that he is just bludgeoning you with.
So I've cut back on what I buy, and
good.
Yeah, good. Yes. But thinking about it, the only things I think I haven't purchased are the Rock Lords. Like
I haven't gotten one of them yet.
Yeah, I think I purchased almost everything. Everything else, no, I haven't picked up the newest wave of deluxes, so I have none of those. I don't feel too bad about it.
No, you have gears, don't you?
Oh, besides gears.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
What else is even in that wave? Shard and something else.
So the wave has got Windblade. So
okay.
Okay.
I mean, you could get Chase. Chase is fine.
I can live without it.
Windblade's not bad.
I've got too many Windblades. I don't need another one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Behind the scenes for Vector Prime, anything we want to talk about?
Not that I didn't really mention already when we were talking about the reveals. Like, there's the one picture in there with the proposed mold layouts, which we can pretty much know changed somewhat before the final toolings were done. But it's mostly the normal thing. If you just want a better look at the physical version of that toy, Mark's photos are always good for that.
Yeah. So we got photos of the Takara Tomy version of EarthSpark Deluxe Prowl and Thrash.
So this is the EarthSpark Prowl I wanted. This is the Cyberverse Prowl I wanted. Takara has redecoed the Cyberverse Deluxe Prowl mold, given it a ton of new paint, changed the color layout on it. I must have at least 3 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say they would make really good auto troopers.
Yeah. So I basically bought Cyberverse Prowl on a whim because it was there when I was already buying Starscream. I wanted Starscream just for the blast effects, and Prowl looked okay, and I just thought I'd get it because it was on hand and new, and I ended up really, really liking that mold. It might be like my favorite Cyberverse Deluxe mold that I had. It felt really good, and even in the Hasbro deco with the milky white plastic and not a ton of paintwork on it, it still looked pretty nice. The problem, of course, was that its white nylon sprue color shifted very badly in not a whole heck of a lot of time. So
does this have the same face sculpt?
It does. That face sculpt was under there the entire time, but you could not tell because they didn't paint it.
It is insane, the difference.
Yeah. When I first saw these pictures, I thought Takara had retooled the head, but I started looking at the pictures I took of Prowl back when the colors were still correct on it, and just scrutinizing the detail between the sculpts, and it is the same face sculpt, but that's what it looks like with paint on.
This feels like 2015 Robots in Disguise to me, where Takara repainted all those things for Adventure.
Oh yeah, Transformers Adventure,
and just breathed new life into them.
Yeah,
this feels like that, except not as radical. I mean, it's still Prowl. It's not something different.
Right.
Yeah.
And okay, so Thrash, the mold itself is not the best EarthSpark Thrash you can get. That's the warrior class one. but they have done so much to help this mold just by giving it a deco that is accurate to the show, which for some reason Hasbro did not do. I would still greatly more recommend the Warrior class mold, which is also available in a Takara Tomy deco that is better and more complete than the Hasbro one. But either version of that Warrior class mold is the way to have Thrash represented in a collection, in my opinion. But yeah, I have to have Takara's EarthSpark Prowl. That just looks too nice, and they've changed the nylon sprue to be dark blue now, so hopefully it won't discolor at all. But if it does, hopefully it will not be as like drastically noticeable a discoloration, since it's already going to be starting with a darker color.
Yeah,
I have high hopes for this, and again, I must have at least 3.
it's beautiful. I may skip it, but not because I don't love it. I just don't need it.
Yeah.
Next news item is my favorite, and it's also the worst news item of the week, I think, for a couple reasons. We have,
okay, I'm interested to hear that opinion.
We have pics of Takara, Missing Link, Bumblebee, and Cliffjumper.
Unexpectedly, because that's like the last thing we thought of when we were pitching new Missing Link ideas.
So
we should have a proper reveal for this next week. They're scheduled for the 8th, according to this.
Yeah,
they're just so tiny.
No,
they're going to be tiny.
Have you ever handled G1 Minibots diecast?
Yeah.
Okay, they're tiny. So
Yeah.
My problem with this is they exist, and I'll have to. It means more will exist.
You'll have to buy them.
and I'm going to have to. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
This makes my heart beat like more than caffeine. This makes my heart beat faster. I love these, and I don't want to buy more of them.
I would buy Missing
G1
Link bumper.
But
Oh God, I'd buy.
yes, absolutely.
I mean, the repaint potentials. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
And you can do Bumblebee in red and Cliffjumper in yellow, and I'd buy those as well.
Yes.
You could do them in microchange teal. It would be great.
Yes.
Oh,
You can do.
I'm
you can do-
actually surprised
do-
they didn't do like a cartoon version of Bumblebee.
We
with
don't know
the-
yet.
just wait.
Yeah, there could be more. These
Yeah,
are
and-
leaks after all.
And there could always be the Argentine colors
Yes.
plus a buck bite.
I'm going to go broke.
They
I will
might
go
could do
broke.
this buck
Glyph,
bite.
tap out.
Glyph.
Yeah.
Tap out and glyphs.
Yeah. All the Antex and Estrella stuff. Yeah.
So you know what? Like the worst thing they could probably do to me is put this like in a like clamshell with a cassette and charge like $300 for it. I would buy that. Like,
How much do you think these are going to be?
$50.
If they're a 2-pack, I would say $50. Individually, I think we might be looking more around 3,500 yen each.
I was about to say I could see maybe them going as high as 60, maybe a little higher if they were a 2-pack. They have individual serial numbers, so I think they'll be separate releases.
Yeah, I agree.
I never thought that'd be a price I'd be happy to pay for a G1 Minibot.
Right?
So again, I'm trying to complete my G1. I'm going to go broke buying G1 Minibots.
If they do Missing Link G2 Bumblebee with the Chrome, I will buy
God.
that.
You know, I'm already
Imagine
thinking
if they get around to a Beachcomber.
Beachcomber, Cosmos, Warpath, Power
I get that too. But like G2 Bumblebee was one of my simultaneous 2 first Transformers. I would have to get Missing Link G2 Bumblebee if that existed.
Basically, I hate to say it. On some level, I hate it anyway. If they lean into Missing Link, I could probably all but give up on mainline Transformers and just stick with that.
That's a good idea.
You know what? I can't
Mini
disagree
bots with
you.
knees and hips and elbows that can hold guns. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
these
is.
these are coming with guns.
Mm-hmm.
They both have a little pistol.
Mhm.
Cliffjumper has his silly bazooka thing from when he failed to kill Megatron.
Because it's so easy to miss with the bazooka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gundam Battle Operation rules.
Yeah, I'll definitely be interested to see if they leave the toy head on Bumblebee or if they
It'll
do
be
the cartoon.
It'll be the toy. These are toys.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's what we
assuming
have.
we get one version, because look at Optimus Prime.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
a toy head. It's just a color difference.
Yeah, I
we
mean-
got Optimus Prime with a trailer and Optimus Prime without a trailer. Who's to say we won't get Bumblebee with a toy head and a cartoon head?
I
Yeah.
would propose that they are going to be pacing themselves with Bumblebee and Cliffjumper and Missing Link because, like we said, red Bumblebee, yellow Cliffjumper, but you can also have an easy retool from that Cliffjumper to hubcap.
Give
you
me
could-
a hubcap and bumper set, please.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're a short hop away with this engineering to bumper, and then the G2 Chrome versions. Like there's so many things they can do, including just putting cartoon heads on the basic decos. Like I don't think they want to front load this with a bunch of versions at once. They're going to want to pace this out and just have this as a thing that they can cycle in every so often.
Yeah, like every other release could just be a recolor of these, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, and
That's evil.
There is more than enough Minibot to go around with just these two molds to accomplish that. It's disgusting.
And I just had an interesting thought, guys. What if they do a Missing Link Huffer and include Prime's trailer because one is thematically relevant to that one episode, Heavy Metal War, and two, they could get another use of the trailer mold, and people that like me who bought just the cab Optimus would now have a trailer.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea, Don.
No.
I was going to say.
I'm sure you'd need some kind of adapter because Huffer is very small.
Oh yeah,
I was
definitely.
going to say that feels like what they would end up doing when there's a masterpiece Huffer.
Yeah, that too. No, but like at the Takara Tomy Mall exclusive, absolutely, I would see a variant Missing Link Huffer come with the Missing Link trailer. For like let's say 8,000 yen. That'd be the most expensive Huffer, the most expensive G1 Huffer anyone has ever bought, probably. But like, no, I think Don is onto something here with the complete your anime Missing Link Convoy with Huffer plus trailer. Like that actually makes a lot of sense. Good one, Don.
If this Missing Link line is going to continue at the speed it's been between Prime and Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, maybe, and this is, out there, but maybe that's why they're consolidating the Masterpiece line, because they don't want to be too much time in between releases. And if they consolidate that one line, they can basically slow down a little bit on that to allow for this line to be worked on. Because I don't think like if they're putting more, if they're gonna, put focus in this Missing Link going forward, that their Masterpiece may have slowed down a little bit, and it would have been too much time in between releases. So if they kind of consolidate everything into that MPG, now it doesn't look like things are slowed down as much.
I mean, yeah, we certainly saw while they were working on the train bots that regular Masterpiece was getting farther between. So I mean, yeah, I suspect moving everything under MPG is probably a way to kind of mitigate what you're saying. I don't know that Missing Link itself would be part of the equation with that necessarily, because like that probably is two separate like development groups working on that. Even if there is some overlap of personnel on those groups, I think they're still going to be functioning mostly separately. But yeah, like having a single Masterpiece line is better for the optics because like one is not being obviously ignored while they're working on the other and vice versa. I think Missing Link can probably be marketed and produced and go through simultaneously with Masterpiece in any case, though. Like I don't think it would be a 1 month on, 1 month off thing, for instance.
Yeah. If it does turn out that MPG keeps its focus on the later Japan only G1 series, that would kind of make sense that they're, shifting focus to that for Masterpiece as it stands, and then for the earlier things that they have done an awful lot of already, they have missing link to revisit those characters again.
Yeah, it's essentially like, okay, how can we make everybody start over buying Masterpiece 84 and 85 characters again? Well, we'll just make Masterpiece versions of literally the original toys.
Mm-hmm. Which is
evil geniuses.
Yeah.
Which, if that counts, that's the first Masterpiece I bought since the first one, so it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think this Bumblebee and Cliffjumper like opens up the door for more releases, because we were kind of thinking like if they do a Starscream, they would have to change a lot about that Starscream. Well, these Minibots, just adding these arms and legs, by volume, they've changed a whole lot of these original molds. So I like I said, I think it kind of opens the door to stuff that we thought maybe was off the table.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a Starscream that,
Yeah, I would just love to see the engineering on that.
Yeah.
With a Starscream with actual arms,
And legs, yeah.
For no particular reason, what's a good price on a Bumble Jumper?
Oh, those are pretty expensive.
Okay.
If you're seeing like lower end 3 digits, I think you're seeing stuff that's in the right ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah, when I bought one, God, probably more like 15 years ago at this point, it was almost $100.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bumper, especially carded Bumper, is a very expensive proposition for any kind of mini bot.
Yeah.
Some of the South American stuff might be like creeping up there alongside it because of how obscure that's been. But yeah, for like Hasbro mini bots, the
South American stuff is always stupid expensive when I see it.
Yeah. For Hasbro mini bots, Bumper is very, very up there.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Try to get a repaint of Bumper. See how that goes for you.
I did see an Estrella repaint for like $600.
Yeah. What is that, Carrera?
I don't remember. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see here. After that,
Multi-pack listings.
Okay. So, we get a Bridge Crew set.
Yeah, seemingly. Like it was briefly pitched like, okay, this could actually also be another movie set because there's like Bumblebee movie versions of those 3 characters, Starscream, Shockwave, and Soundwave. But like, I would more think this is a classics thing, not a movie thing. So this might be our equivalent to the Nemesis Bridge deal. Which, in that case, maybe I will finally get the Shockwave in the kind of purple I want it, along with a Starscream and Soundwave I probably don't need.
I can't believe Hasbro missed another opportunity to put out that Siege Megatron mold again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they wanted to do something that was kind of different from Takara's version to not step on toes. Also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, it's a minor change on Starscream, but if all of these had just all opaque plastics, like, most of the mold reuses have been going for. So, we would get the Soundwave with the opaque light blue tape door. Starscream's just got
Oh, what if Soundwave comes with Buzzsaw?
I mean, I would hope at some point a Soundwave is going to come with a damn buzzsaw. Like, it's been years with this form factor, and we have not gotten even close to that. I don't know what they have against poor Buzzsaw, except that he wasn't in the movie and was barely in the cartoon. Besides that, what could they possibly have against Buzzsaw?
Mm-hmm.
The other one is a Revenge of the Fallen 15th anniversary Autobot multi-pack. So Leader, Jetfire, Voyager, Optimus, and 2 Deluxes to be named later.
Wait, is the Voyager Optimus the one that Leader Jetfire can combine with?
Well, you would certainly hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
it would be kind of silly otherwise.
I'm trying, because it used to be Leader Optimus and Leader Jetfire, but I remember they changed it.
Yeah, that was the original toys where it was the 2 leaders that combined.
Yeah.
Studio series was a Leader and a Voyager.
Well, that's awesome to be able to give give someone the chance to get that at the same time, because they were kind of spaced apart in
Yeah, a little
on
bit.
on the studio series release. So I think this is a good idea, and we always need to celebrate, the anniversary of Revenge of the Fallen. I mean,
No, we don't.
Yes,
I mean, somebody needs to.
I don all black. I get a little black ribbon that I wear on my lapel, and I just have a quiet day of introspection over what I lost that afternoon.
I mean, I
$7.
just love movies that I can turn off my brain and watch it, and that's definitely
That's
one of
the
those
only way to
movies.
watch that movie.
Yeah, that's if you don't, you will have the same problem I had with most of the Transformers movies, where it's like it's how do I describe it? It's like you get up, you walk 5 steps, and you go, wait a minute, that was dumb, and that's kind of the whole thing.
You know the worst part about Revenge of the Fallen, though?
The whole
We're
thing.
still talking about it 15 years later.
Yeah.
It's that it's 15 years old. It's been 15 years. Not since the first movie. No, 15 years since its sequel.
I think Revenge of the Fallen was the first time I met up with Hey Mickey in person.
Well, that was
See?
worthwhile.
There was
Yeah.
good things in that movie.
Yeah, no. So that day having the day out, going to see the movie, that was fine. Hey Mickey, Lost Orbit, and a couple other people from the fandom, like we all got together and had a group watch and stuff. The movie was the part of that day that I regret the most. It was all the other stuff that was the fond memory. So as for Two Unknown Deluxes, like I think it's strong money that one of them is going to be a Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee and Mirage have both been in studio series already, haven't they? So that makes the
Mirage,
most sense to
Mirage
me.
would be for a Dark of the Moon set.
Was he not? I thought he showed up at the beginning of Revenge of the Fallen, or am I just getting my movies scrambled?
Scrambled.
Okay.
The
Well, I
Autobot,
mean,
the Autobot
whole
cast in Revenge of the Fallen was Optimus, Ironhide, Bumblebee, of course, Skids and Mudflap, and then
Oh, there are your two deluxes right there.
Ratchet.
I was afraid of that.
And later on in the movie, Jolt kind of showed up in the background with no fanfare, and then basically disappeared again right after.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Ratchet probably makes the most sense because Ironhide was a Voyager, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there is a deluxe Ratchet they could fall back on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there hasn't been a studio series Skids and Mudflap yet, and I think if they haven't done that by now, they're just not going to, so we shouldn't expect those to appear at any point. And the world is a better place for it. Much like the world is a better place.
I
if we
do
stop
like
talking
that
about Revenge of the
Skids and
Fallen now.
Mudflap that
Oh, the ice cream truck.
combined
The ice
with
cream
the
truck.
ice cream truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's revisit that concept with completely different characters. Okay, so we have like a set of Hot Wheels news to talk about.
Oh, boy.
Apparently we've gotten to that stage of our lives.
We're that old. We're Hot Wheels guys now.
Oh, no.
was there a TF Con recently that I didn't know about, where the Hot Wheels and convention was in the lobby?
So Mattel Creations had up a thing on like their website calendar or something, that there was going to be a Hot Wheels Cross Transformers Optimus Prime of some stripe, to be revealed on May 21st with a $3 sign price level attached to it. So it's going to be some kind of a premium collectible thing.
It's only going to be $3.
Oh, wouldn't that? Well, I mean, that would put it at about normal Hot Wheels price point. Yeah, that'd be nice. But that's basically all we know about that, and possibly the calendar entry might have been. Yeah, we'll get to that diecast. Diecast is showing on our internal video here. Something for like 2 items down.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought it was $3.
Yeah, no, I think that line is like closer to $10. Somebody said that Mattel Creations may have taken down the thing on their calendar about the crossover thing, although I wouldn't assume that means it's canceled. I assume that just means that they let that slip a little bit earlier than they were supposed to. We have some pictures of a near final assembly Hot Wheels Bumblebee, which is mostly notable because we see the undercarriage plate for it, and it's new in as far as it's got Bumblebee's robot head stamped into the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah. I was
So
busy
that's-
staring at the copyright information.
Yeah. Yeah, attributing some copyright to Hasbro for Transformers and then having their own copyright on the line below. Then, of course, the usual Hot Wheels identification plate for what kind of car it is, as if you couldn't
Wh-
tell a Volkswagen Bug.
So
Why? Why every time they make a car? They did that with the Jadas too. Like the bottom of it was the actual robot.
Well, remember
Speedstar,
RPMs?
Speedstars RPMs.
Yeah, like that was the whole gimmick with those.
Yeah, you just stand them up and they
Yeah,
transform.
I imagine this is probably something Hasbro asked for in this, just to have the character be represented. Yeah, John, thank you. John was pointing me to our Discord for an update, but that's actually our next bullet point. From the track fleet line, we have a mock-up of another Hot Wheels Optimus Prime, which is very much just, classic G1 Optimus Prime as a
stacks.
Hot Wheel.
Short stacks. I hate it.
Okay, so it's
Comes with
2000 and
pancakes?
it's 2003 commemorative series Optimus Prime as a Hot Wheels. Since it's
And
got
in
the short
term-
stacks.
In terms of proportions and all, it doesn't look to me so much that it has short stacks. They just put them lower so that it does not. They don't stick up in to eye-poking degrees.
Yeah. Also snapping off degrees,
It's-
because I remember that being a problem with semi-truck Hot Wheels
But that's
way
if-
back in the day.
That's if you take
Yeah.
off the card. Who's going to do that? Kids.
Well, it seems like it's going to come in a box from the look of the mock-up to me, but who knows?
No, I
No,
No, that is a
actually-
card. I'm just dumb. Never mind.
No,
yeah,
you're good.
this is like for the print layout basically, because it's got the overcut area marked off and everything.
Yeah, and there's the hanger there. Yeah, like I said, just
Yeah.
lost my mind. Nothing major.
No, I mean especially along the top where the actual J hook is, it's easy to miss that green outline.
Yeah.
I can totally see where you would see this as being a box flap or a panel.
In a world,
I
Someone
do
took a
need
screenshot and toywiz.com has this retail for $7.99.
that's a lot for a Hot Wheels car.
Well, has a trailer,
yeah.
so
So, in a world without the Jada stuff, this would be pretty amazing. But we have those Jada diecast Optimus Primes.
but we didn't get a trailer.
That's true. But this is so small.
I'm really most interested, obviously, to find out what the Mattel Creations thing is. What is the high-end collectible version of this? What shape is that going to take?
You know what I'm imagining, and it's probably not right, but I got a Mattel Cybertruck remote control car, and that's kind of what I'm imagining is like a
Why?
remote controlled Optimus Prime.
Why did you buy that?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Well, I mean, it's a Cybertruck. If you keep it long enough, eventually the textures will load in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny. So I will say one advantage to this Hot Wheels toy. Hopefully, it will be compatible with Hot Wheels tracks, and
Yeah.
that would be fun to have, like Optimus Prime racing against, whatever.
Yeah. If you look at the package mock-up, they literally have a length of Hot Wheels track as part of the card art.
Yeah, Hot
So,
yeah,
Wheels-
it's meant for the
that's-
track.
Yeah.
yeah, those.
I
That's
would
fine.
love to see this Optimus with trailer going around like a track loop.
It's not
that
going to
would-
work very well.
No, I don't think so either, but that's why I want to see it. Bumblebee though, through one of the powered launch things they have and through a loop, that would probably do pretty well
Yeah.
at that size and mass.
For 5 minutes, my kids were really into Hot Wheels. So we have like the big Hot Wheels mountain that's also like a parking complex, and they can race and stuff around it. Like if we don't give that away before we move, it'll go into storage, and eventually that Optimus Prime will be parked in
Yeah.
that thing.
This is the one thing I thought of when I saw this was, well, we're finally getting the GoBots racing rig in some
Oh, yeah.
reincarnated form.
Was there going to be a racing
It's
rig for G2 GoBots?
There was going to be.
Yeah,
They had a prototype for it.
they showed it
It
at
went unproduced because G2 ended early.
Really?
right. They showed it at BotCon. It
94?
was 94, I believe.
Yeah.
That, and they had it there, and the trailer opened up to become a launcher, and you could connect that launcher to any like a Hot Wheels track. It was going to be the racing rig with some in-universe stickers on it, things like that. They just didn't produce it, and this is probably the closest thing. It's sort of like your Transformer Weeble Wobbles. There'll be a spiritual successor at some point, but this is probably it.
Yeah.
So is that on the wiki? I don't remember that at all.
There's probably at least a note of it on the like unproduced toys page.
Okay.
I don't know if there was ever a photo of that got circulated out.
I'll be honest, if I can ever find it, I have a Polaroid of that because I took my Polaroid camera. I had to buy my film. Dad wouldn't buy the film for me, so I had to buy it myself.
Okay, Blade Raider has a picture of it in their
Oh,
Discord.
good, because I have no idea what that
God,
Polaroid
that's
is.
amazing.
That looks like it probably came from one of those like estate liquidation auction pools.
Yeah, that's it. Because the back
high-quality
folded
photography
down
and
to become
everything.
the launcher. Yeah, the
Yeah,
second picture.
yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
they showed all that off because it was a working prototype.
Mhm.
The launcher worked, and it was just like we were really excited to get this because it was a really important play pattern with the GoBots in G2, and
Yeah.
we never got it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this was far enough along where if like Takara could have found a way to get this play pattern incorporated into their G2 or even like Beast Wars second, like we would have seen a release of this. There was obviously finished tooling and stuff for this.
And it came with a version of Grease Pit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love
It
that you can
is.
just launch cars into the air. That's
Yeah, that was-
awesome.
I think you're supposed to send them in the other direction, diecast.
Oh.
But we were all like, because the Hasbro, the G2 team was there. They were showing off this, and they had samples of Sergeant Hound and General Optimus from the
Right.
Auto Roller recolors. It was going to be a glorious year for G2 that we never got.
Yeah. Sadly so.
So it exists out there to the extent that Transformers Land has like a page for it in their store. This may be my new grail.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it is possible to obtain one of these in some, situation. I can't imagine what the price tag would end up being. Like, by any conventional measure, not worth it. But like, I certainly feel you. This would be a really cool, like, one-off special thing to have.
Well, I'll put it like this. There's probably less of those out there as far along as that one was as there are G2 Stunticons and Protectobots.
I don't know about that, Don. I mean,
I'm saying we've seen several unless it's the same set floating around between people.
Yeah,
We've
I would not
seen-
imagine there's more than one of these racing rigs actually like complete put together like this one.
okay, well, maybe I'll never own it then.
Yeah.
Sad.
Now this would be a good thing. I don't know if there would be enough interest in it, but this would be a good thing for a third party to do. It wouldn't
No, it
be that
wouldn't.
hard to do
No.
it.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, this would have been a good thing for third party to do in like 2012 when the third party bubble was at its biggest.
Yeah, no, like again, just for me personally, third party does not fill holes in my collection. It's kind of like how Generations and Legacy toys do not fill holes in my collection. So if there was a Legacy Blue Bacchus or a Legacy I don't like Legacy
Well,
Grandis,
there was
Babel
a Black.
Gaia?
yeah,
There was
or
a Black
Battle Gaia,
Shadow.
that would not
There was a.
or Black Shadow that doesn't fill anything in my collection. That's just
Right.
its own thing. So a third-party version would do nothing for me.
I mean, part of me has to assume like the molds for this were lost or impractical, that we didn't see the racing rig at least pitched for Robots in Disguise 2001.
Yeah. God, that would have been great.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we've settled on this topic for a lot
Ginrai.
longer than I thought we were going to.
We have new photos of MPG Ginrai and MPG Super Ginrai. I still don't want
from
it.
Figure King. So
It looks great.
importantly from this, we have some looks at the back of the combined mode, the Super Ginrai mode, which had been a question mark before, and like there's definitely some junk back there, but probably not to an unexpected degree, I don't think.
It looks
No,
pretty much
I mean,
I
it looks
expected
like-
him to.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, the waist on the cab robot is a lot more substantial than I had originally thought, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
There's also a little inset picture showing the MPG Super Ginrai next to a G1 Super Ginrai trailer without the cab robot installed in it.
Oh,
So
it's gonna
you can
be
kind of
larger.
you can derive a sense of scale from this finally.
I just still don't care for it at all.
I like the cab robot. The rest of it, I'm not really big on.
Well, good news, Rob. You can buy just the cab robot.
Um,
I know you're not gonna do that.
no,
anyway,
I'm not
but-
going to do that.
I like the picture. It shows him almost touching his toes.
Yeah,
That's
that's a heck of a ab joint.
yep. And it looks natural too. It actually looks pretty good from that photo that
Yeah,
they have.
there's actually some thickness to there's actually some thickness to the hinge mass there. Like it's not just an empty hinge space.
Yep.
I'm not
Yeah.
articulating that very well, but this is articulated quite well.
It's not like a little tiny hinge and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I was afraid of at first.
Mhm.
I want to really jump all over this, but it still is uncanny valley. There's just visually something
off.
wrong with
Yeah.
this that I cannot put my finger
It is-
on.
So it's just off. It just does not click.
Because
I
it's-
actually kind of like it, but I've been burned by Masterpiece one too many times. So I'm kind of leaning towards skipping this one too.
because of how it follows the animation model, it's kind of got a little bit of a Predaking waist deal going on. It's just the midsection is just too long.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, just like the original toy did not have that kind of like gap there. I feel like between the
Mhm.
midsection and the bumper of the cab.
Yeah, the
The-
bumper of the cab needs to be right on the waist.
Yeah, the animation model did, so I get why they're doing it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's a lot of what we've talked about with the implementation of Masterpiece for a long time now, where it's going too far into trying to be what the cartoon made the designs be and leaving a lot of the nature of the toy behind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, I
I kind
can't
of get
help-
what Rob's saying now that I'm staring at it. And I kind of hate Rob for pointing it out. 'Cause now I can't, but like you can see his basically his waist and the top of his thighs
Mhm.
in the Super Genrai mode, which kind of that kind of loses it for me. I hope I can unsee that.
yeah, it's looking up and you see, and the cab in the trailer, the Super Genrai, the cab looks a hair too small
Yeah.
for that cavity. And seeing his, even though you're not going to see it looking straight on, seeing those legs in that cavity kind of just ruins the whole super robot aesthetic. It's just
like, I don't want to be a proponent for like, removable extra parts, but like what it really needs is a snap-on longer truck bumper that hides some of that and brings the truck cab looking like it's closer to the waistline of the toy.
Something. It needs something. Thanks, Rob.
Sort of like if that bumper slid out and came down, or just something.
Actually, yeah, just sliding that down would be a good would be a good one. But no, just I guess I'm just spoiled now because I will happily wait for a missing link version of Power Master Optimus Prime.
I mean, depending on stores we shop at overseas, free shipping weekends, the dollar versus the yen when this comes out. If I see a good deal, I might pick it up, but it's got to be a really good deal.
I honestly feel like too, looking at the Ab Crunch picture, I really feel like they could have probably engineered this so that the whole leg assembly goes to the backpack, and then you would like open up the calves and just completely fold them over the thighs and compress it just tighter. And then you would have the bumper of the truck be able to sit down by the waist. You wouldn't see the tops of the thighs in the super mode. Like, I think with just a little bit more hinges and engineering, they could have actually gotten around some of this aesthetic problem that they've created here. Whereas, where we're sitting right now, the best we could hope for would be DNA Designs or somebody to just make a bigger bumper to snap on the front of this to hide that. And that seems like kind of a bad place to be on a $300 masterpiece.
Yeah.
Or even just a red panel that covers up
Yeah,
those
that
legs
too.
that sits. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't know if the bigger the bumper might look too big,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, please, third party, do something with that, because I'm buying this now. I already committed to it, and now I'm like, now I see it.
I was going to say, Diecast, the good news is you won't be able to see it to be bothered by it once it's buried under a pile in your collection room.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, I did find the Lego Prime though, so I have to do the face mod on him.
But yeah, I'm still at the point I was with this a while ago. I'm happy to see the more detailed pictures, the extra angles, and the demonstration of what this can do, but it's all still cementing for me that, yes, for what this costs, I want to just go and rebuy the Titans Return era molds in the LGEX format. Just have God Bomber in that set with the like chrome and the extra heads and everything, and just go back to having that be my Super Ginrai, my God Ginrai, Power Master Prime, whatever, what have you. It wouldn't be perfect because the cab doesn't turn into a robot, but like it's good enough for what it is. Until someone makes another knockoff of that perfect effect cab, and I can get one of those.
I mean, we're not poo pooing it as far as
no, it's just not to our taste.
We've all seen.
No, I kind of like it, but I'm clearly outnumbered.
Yeah. Well, I think
that's fair.
It's fair. I think we have to look at it. How much of this up to this point was bad photography, making it look bad, like Masterpiece Ironhide, and now how much of it is it Figure King magazine, known for high quality photos, not really helping a lot in some cases. And it's just the money versus the QC issues of Masterpiece versus the wonky donkey aesthetics of this is all adding up for just
And I don't even think we're like, well, Matt probably is. I don't think we're even talking that much about the QC potential for this yet. Like we're just talking about design aesthetics at this point, but like, that you raise a good point there with the QC potential on this also.
Yeah. It's just an aesthetic choice I'm not really into. That doesn't matter too much because I was never going to buy this either way. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if this had turned out to be a little bit smaller and the aesthetics were a little bit different, like I might have considered this as a substitute for like Generations 1 in the absence of like a Commander class Power Master Prime.
I'd still love a Commander class Power Master
Me too.
Prime.
Me too.
God,
I think
please,
that
yes.
that would probably be my ideal resolution to this problem. But from what's available out there currently, I think I'm just back to LGEX.
And they're definitely not going to show one of those concurrently while they're trying to sell this.
Correct.
No.
What's next?
What is
Oh,
next?
so we've got a design notes roundup basically from Evan Brooks for some of the Legacy United core class figures. So little notes on Energon Megatron, Tasmania Kid, the Rock whose name escapes me as they all do. Um,
I think that one's Boulder Crash.
okay, sure. I'll go with that. Boulder Crash. Was there a fourth? Oh yeah, Cheetor. He does talk about Cheetor also. Sorry, Don. Uh, that's up on his Instagram if you want to go check that out. There's some development images. He also talks about how, like in the case of Tasmania Kid, what Hasbro basically sculpted out what they wanted the beast mode to look like, and then they sent that off to Takara to use as a starting point for engineering the toy, things like that. We have some in-hand photos of Studio Series
Oh,
Swoop,
God.
including group shots with the other Dinobots. Looking very nice. Very swoopy.
Still want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next.
He is the blockiest flying Dinobot wedge.
Yeah,
He always
of all.
So he
was.
should be.
Yeah, but he always
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that pterodactyl mode really isn't what you would call aerodynamic by any stretch of the
It has
imagination.
wings. It's fine.
Looks pretty good.
So
I still think the wings are a tad small. But
they're
They
fine.
are adjustable.
Yeah.
They're adjustable, and depending how they're ultimately attached, like if they are user serviceable to any reasonable degree, DNA Design will be working on a bigger wing kit for it.
I am seeing some pins and rivets, so
So DNA Design will not be working on a bigger wing kit for it.
Well,
Okay,
it's possible they could make a snap overlay,
Yeah,
that's
and that
kind of
would,
what I was thinking.
like sandwich
would-
the wings in the new
Oh, that would-
pieces.
that look
Well,
bad.
because you've got a 5mm port right there under the wing, so you could put a post on the kit and just sandwich that wing in between two new pieces.
Well, Hasbro also kind of made the wings the size they did so you could stand him up so he could listen to Cup stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in consideration with, what size the wings are, how they're articulated. As for the
How they
pins
fold
and,
up for robot mode.
and as for the pins and rivets thing, I think that's just because they hate us. Um,
But
So-
here's the thing. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
no, I was going to move on to the next thing.
So
Say your
Oh.
one thing, Don, and let's move on.
Okay. Look at the group shot. Red,
Yeah.
black, red, black, red, black, red, black, yellow, blue. I have to wonder if we will be getting a red-chested Swoop in
Yes.
selects. I mean, it seems like that would be a very obvious thing for them to do. But I always thought getting Buster and Hydra from the Power of the Prime's Power Master jets, and we never got those.
So in America, ask somebody if they know what a Dinobot is. Then ask somebody if they know who Buster and Hydra are.
Right, but I'm also saying selects is more of a collector-focused line.
Yeah, but they're still trying to
So-
sell them for money.
So,
Ye-
so Brian, you were making some faces at our next item.
So I'm gonna get this off Temu when like the official Transformers store has this for sale for like
Uh-huh.
$15. Philips Cross Transformers limited edition shavers in China.
We can only hope this will be followed soon in the U.S. by a Transformers Cross Manscaped collaboration.
I'm glad I didn't email them back because I could not stand doing an ad for that every week.
Please tell me that like Alpha Trion is the spokes robot.
No,
Well, that wouldn't make any sense. He has a beard.
it would have to be a Transformer without a beard, like somebody with a faceplate.
I like the Bumblebee one.
I'm certain these are probably a standard model for them
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
that they are
Yeah, of
putting
course.
Transformers colors on. Yeah.
I wonder if I can get this on Taobao or
Yes, I'm
Temu
sure
or
you can.
something.
I'm sure you can. Actually, I was thinking I use a Philips One Blade, so I already use Philips product. So I could switch over to this for like the areas that I actually shave on my face.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I could just stop. I could just.
I have a. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have a Philips Norelco regular transformer shaver that I've never taken out
Wait,
of the
you
package.
do? This already exists?
It was not the electric shaver. It was a regular razor.
Yeah, they
Oh.
did it for like the last night, I think.
Oh, okay.
One of the movies. Yeah, I feel like I've had it for like 10 years or something. It's sitting in my drawer in the
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. It's been almost 10 years since the last night.
Oh,
Okay. So yeah, that makes it makes sense then. But yeah, so this is not the first time Philips has done something like this.
So I'm at the age now where I'm starting to feel self-conscious at work because in 10 years, I went from being the young person on the team to basically the oldest person on the team, which happens, kids.
Uh-huh.
So as my beard goes more gray, I am thinking about shaving. Like on the regular. So I could do it with the Transformers razor. That would be cool. Okay. Last item.
Read it as I wrote it.
Someone needs to stop the New Zealand Mint.
Yeah, so their latest thing, as far as I know, is this $5 silver piece that is cast in the image of Optimus Prime's head.
I kind of love it.
I call the $5
kinda
silver
like it too.
piece. It's vastly more expensive than that, but I guess it's $5 value of silver or something like that.
Well, it's 3 ounces. Silver's about $25, so it's about $75 in silver right now.
Okay, so it's only 4 times markup instead of, significantly worse.
Well,
Holy, that thing is $300.
Yeah.
Well, it's $75 worth of silver, so
Yes, that's how inflation. That's how.
Yeah,
So-
so like I said, it's only 4 times markup instead of, $60, 60 times markup going by
Well,
the $5 value.
So, yes, I mean, there's definitely a pretty high margin on this.
Uh-huh.
They're always like when it comes to like currency, and this is legal tender in probably Nui or whatever country it is. For these commemorative things, there's always tremendous markup. It's a chance for the country to it's revenue
Boost
for the
their
country.
economy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
revenue for the country. So, yeah, it's kind of cool looking.
It kind of is,
Yeah.
Limited edition run of 1,984.
of course.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to get one of these and make a silicone chocolate mold off of this design, I would probably get that.
That'd be cool.
Interesting notion.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of a
hey,
high investment for that, though.
Yeah. Let's jump to what we got this week. Diecast, you're in a hotel room.
yes,
did you
but
get
I
anything-
did get.
What'd you get?
It's kind of a grail.
Oh.
New in box Beast Machine Supreme Cheetor.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I did offer to trade it for something that Don had on X. I forget what it was, but I offered to trade
Legacy
the
Dreadwing.
It was Legacy Dreadwing, yeah, and I offered to trade him a
Yeah.
Supreme Cheetor because I know he wants one.
So how is the is the battery still good? Because you can test it has the hole where you can test the toy, right?
It has the hole, and you can pull the thing. The batteries don't work.
So
though,
he
because there's no
growled,
noise.
if I remember right.
Yeah.
He probably growled and lit up, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was lights.
But yeah, it really it's been on my radar for a while. And getting the Core Class Cheetor, I thought that might be a good toy. Well, I hated Core Class Cheetor.
I really like Core Class Cheetor. Unironically, I think it's a good little Core Class toy.
What about when you peg in all the tabs exactly where they're supposed to be pegged in? He's just kind of at an awkward, standing pose that doesn't look right at all.
I haven't done that.
Okay, do that and you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
But yeah, I got I got Supreme Cheetor finally,
How's
and you know
what's the box like? He's got that huge window. That's the thing I'm always concerned about.
the window is really thin, like it's paper thin, clear
Mhm.
plastic. I was surprised because I'm used to a lot thicker plastic, so it's actually in pretty good condition. So I'm happy about that. And it makes a nice display piece in the box. I don't think I would ever take it out of the box. But
No, in the box is the correct way to enjoy Supreme Cheetor.
yeah. Um, so I also got I'm not wearing the shirt I got, but I got a couple more of the tfradio.net/shirts that our awesome friend John DeLuna made. I got another RFC review shirt because the one I had was kind of getting worn out. I wore it so much. And then I got a XVL like this. I got the orange Unicron Chaos
Hmm.
t-shirt, which I had a blue one before and you could barely tell what it was. It just the colors didn't contrast very well. The orange contrasts awesome. So,
Orange makes
uh,
everything better.
Yeah, usually.
yeah. And the other thing I got, I actually finally found in store the core class red Studio Series Frenzy because they call him Frenzy, the red one.
Oh yeah, Frenzy Red.
Yeah. So I was happy about that because I that has been the one figure that's been eluding me for a
Yeah,
long
that's been in
time.
circulation for a while, hasn't it?
It was just I never ever saw it and I could never order it online. It was always sold out.
Right.
So I was happy to finally, pop into my Target and be able to pick that up for $10.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got this week that I can think of.
Don, what about you?
Only really two things on topic. I did pick up the non-F Windsweeper kit when it comes out.
Oh
That
yeah, I
inc-
need to get one of those.
yeah, that includes a new chest plate to sort of differentiate the two Windsweeper from Needle Nose, and then you've got there's no actual springs, but you can swing out the guns in robot mode to look. Although I will say the designers really, really tried with those two Target Masters to make them look like his
Trigger
original
tons.
weapon. They really, really tried with that silver paint. There's probably a ton of silver paint on them figures to make them look that good. But I did pick that up. Other thing I picked up on topic, it's a transforming robot, but it's not Transformers. But thanks to Preternia on Twitter, Amazon was running a sale on figures, and Metamorph Force is a Soljagoken style company doing very high quality animation accurate transformations. Well, I got this guy right here,
Steel
which
Jeeg.
Still Jeeg. He was on sale for 70% off.
Hmm.
And tfradio.net/Amazon, I got him for 95 instead of 240.
Crikey.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Metamorph Force is a higher end. It's like the perfect change. Believe it or not, I know nothing about the character, but I've watched reviews of them. Great transformation, and believe it or not, it reminds me a lot of both Chrome Dome and Code from Fans Project because there's a lot of similar transformation aspects, including the sliding groove for part of the backpack.
Hmm.
Like,
Does it perchance remind you of Baron Karza from Micronauts because Steel Jeeg was the source for that mold?
now that you mention it, yes, I can see that. Like I said, I know nothing about the character other than it's one of those classic Japanese super robots that shows up on everybody's list of things you must watch. But I never got a chance to see it. And the thing is, it's also a headmaster as well. So that was something I wanted to get. The only downside is the sword came in broke in the tray. I'm
Oh
missing
no.
yeah,
Oh
one of the
geez.
so I can
No,
Yeah.
Cheeg.
yeah, gee. But it's got some die cast in it. He has some weapons like some rocket boosters that are magnetic. that just stick on the side of the arm. So
I love magnets.
yeah,
How do they
just
work?
just an odd little robot for my shelf, but the transformation is fun. It locks together solid in both modes, and
Do
it's
the
just got
limbs
that.
attach magnetically by any chance?
Do what?
Do the limbs attach magnetically by any chance?
I don't think so. I watched Watafa's video, and he did not show that.
Okay, because
But
that was a function of the original toy, but I was
Right.
just curious.
yeah,
Don, you should get that right now in your hand again and try to rip one of the arms off and verify that.
well, they only had literally Amazon said they only had 6, so I went ahead and got one. tfradio.net/Amazon. But a great little oddball robot, great transformation, and I really like it.
Cool. It's nice looking, Don. I like it. John, what about you?
Only thing I got, and I haven't opened it yet, is Sandstorm, who looks super impressive in the box, and
Yeah.
I haven't kept up with what the internet thinks of him. So I'm looking forward to opening him. But so maybe I'll have a micro review next week, and that's it.
Yeah, the only thing I've really seen about him, John, is the feet look a little wonky as far as the robot mode.
It's much better in hand.
But
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
better
definitely.
in hand. Yeah,
Cool.
Well, see, it's like I mentioned last week. Sandstorm is the polar opposite to Studio Series 86, Studio Series Bumblebee Megatron. None of the modes on Sandstorm, none of them really suffer, so that one mode can be best. Whereas on Megatron, both his alt modes suffered, so the robot would look so good. So they're kind of polar opposites on the extreme.
Okay, cool. Matt?
Yeah, I got a couple things. So I don't know why, but I picked up Legacy Shadow Striker.
Oh,
Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, she's not. She could have been a lot better, but she's not bad.
I don't like
I-
the car mode at all.
Yeah.
No.
Like I don't know where that came from.
Does yours
And
have the trouble with the arms pegging inside before you put the roof on?
will you let me talk about it and then you'll
I'm
know?
so sorry.
Okay. So I hate the shoulders. Absolutely hate the shoulders. Everything does peg together in car mode, Don. So I didn't have any problems with that, but the shoulders are so weird because they don't connect like at the clavicle, they connect to the back of the figure. It
Like
is the
Rat Trap.
weirdest thing I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But it is the weirdest thing. And like I don't want to say too much about this because I'm pretty sure this was Mark and Hasui-san designing this, and they made gears, and I love them, and I need them to make me a wind charger. So I will not badmouth Shadow Striker any further, just other than not my favorite pickup of the week. I also picked up a second scrap heap because I found him at retail in Walmart on a shelf, actually, amazingly enough. So I have 2 of those now. So I have one for motorcycle mode and one for robot mode.
Good.
And most importantly this week, finally, I got my missing link, Optimus Prime. Both of them, with trailer and without trailer.
Do you like it?
Amazing. Oh, I love it so much. It is. How is it this good?
Right?
Oh, I didn't know I needed it, and now I can't live without it. I don't think. Like, where are those pre-orders for Bumblebee and Cliffjumper? I need that. I need that to happen.
next week.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the good news is that since it's May 8th Japanese time, it'll be before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that it'll be like noon next Wednesday.
Nice.
Sorry.
And so they actually added more articulation points than I was expecting. Like, he's got double articulation on the shoulders, and got the waist and the ab crunch. Like, it's really impressive what they've done with this toy. So I wanted Optimus Prime, not necessarily Convoy. So, Optimus Prime has the trailer, but the trailer comes with Convoy, which is why I bought both. And there are differences. Like, I wanted the blue windshield, not the yellow. I wanted the blue eyes. So that's why I got the individual cab robot. But they are absolutely amazing, and I love them. And I think that's it for me this week.
Rob?
Nothing on topic.
Chris?
Blessedly, no.
So I got Sandstorm. Haven't fiddled with it much, but it's very nice. Very happy to have it. I'll play with it more. I mentioned recently that it's conceivable that I could get a complete run of Transformers G2 sealed. So I started on that. So I am not somebody who goes and just hits watch on a item on eBay unless I'm specifically planning on picking it up and just like watching my finances and like, oh, I'll get this and I'll get this and I'll buy it sequentially. But I decided I'm going to start just things I'm interested in, hit watch to see if somebody sends me an offer eventually. So that happened. So one thing I got was Double Clutch, the GoBot.
Ah.
Yeah, so that was like $25. It's not bad. The other that I got, because I couldn't remember if I had it or not, I know I didn't have it sealed, is G2 Jazz.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So the card is more yellowed, or the clamshell is
Blister,
more
yeah.
yellowed than I thought it was going to be from the photo. But looking at the photo, I just didn't look at it close enough.
Ah.
The toy is pristine and pearly white, and it's nice. So I don't know if there's a European variant of this. The European cards were different. But I was looking at my next acquisition as far as G2 goes, and the European version of Sideswipe, and I have a nice Sideswipe, but it's loose. But the European version of Sideswipe looks really nice on the card, so I might pick that up next, but we'll see. That's all that I got on topic this week. Off-topic items are, of course, exclusive to our Patreon at patreon.com/tfradio. Diecast. What did you get this week? Did you get like an original CD copy of Ice Ice Baby or something like that to annoy Don with?
I wanted to send Don that Ice Ice Baby. There was like a metal, those small metal posters.
Yeah, I know those small metal posters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diecast doesn't need anything to annoy me. He does a pretty good job by himself.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get anything.
Don,
sadly.
Did you get anything to like pummel Diecast with?
Well, I got something I can shoot missiles at him.
Ooh.
I got the Techno Viper with the heat missile system to go with his.
Oh, neat.
So I got that. And the other thing that I got today, thanks to Sagaya, is I got SH Figure Arts Zolo from Netflix's One Piece series.
NetPieces One Flicks, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
thank
our
you.
title for this week.
This is on the Patreon feed.
Yep.
So no.
Oh, right.
And he was listed as used. He was sealed. The tape was sealed. The figure is sealed. I didn't open up the clamshell because he has a bunch of accessories, and I didn't want to go chasing them around the room. But the head sculpt is just about as accurate as you're going to get. It's just sort of like the Luffy. And the cool thing was, with the yen conversion rate and the free shipping, I got him for $35.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
between him and Luffy, I got them both shipped for less than what he's going to cost off of Amazon by himself.
Nice.
Amazon US. So yeah, I don't plan right now on getting past the original crew we've seen so far. It's sort of like Sailor Moon. I've got the main 5. I'll be good. But yeah, just really glad to get them, especially at that price. But that's all that I've got. I did pick up the Target exclusive Cassandra Cain Batman multiverse figure. I did pick up the not my favorite Batgirl, but it's a good looking figure.
Don, what classified release was that again? You said it's a Techno Viper. That's not a Techno Viper, is it?
Yeah, it's the Techno Viper, but it's part of the. This is what it says: Cobra Hiss, Techno Viper, and Heat Seek missile system. So it's the Techno Viper, but this is like in the red to sort of match the twins and Baroness sets that go with like it's all centered around the Hiss theme sets with all the reds and stuff.
I don't have that, so it's just you're pointing out something I didn't have, so I need to add that to my to buy list.
You need to add that to your list of things to put in the storage building.
Yeah, pretty much.
We know how
That's-
this works.
Yeah, but that's all I got.
John, what about you?
I got the HMS as well, like Don, and I can't wait to open it and have nowhere to put it. So I'm looking forward to that because like the missiles are like 6 or 7 inches long, something like that. There's 3
Oh,
of them.
wow.
Anyway, yeah. Classified vehicles was a bad idea. It was dumb
Yeah.
to start that.
Third
But here we are.
party,
We're still-
third
yeah,
party
we're-
classified vehicles are on the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad you saw that, Brian. I wasn't sure if you saw that or not.
It is out. That horse is out of the barn. And then-
You're
and
gonna
then the
need a bigger
Dragonfly.
storage building.
Yes, and then the Dragonfly is coming. Awesome.
Yep.
Storing is half the battle.
So the I think the most interesting thing I got this week that was off topic is I got a Hasbro employee track jacket.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So this
Is it
is
your size?
from their gaming division.
You can sneak into places with that.
So I could totally sneak into places. So yeah, so
No,
this is
Don
cool.
knows his face. So
Yeah.
And it's pretty good quality too. But yeah, I don't know which employee sold their jacket, but thanks for being a size large and not being too gross with your clothes. So it's in great shape and
good.
definitely gonna rock it when the weather gets colder.
They were probably laid off, so they didn't want the
Oh.
jacket anymore.
Wow, way to make it sad, Diecast.
Yeah, that got dark.
Even if
That turned
even
dark.
if you're probably right.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
Matt,
no, nothing off topic.
Rob,
I will try not to keep us here all night.
sure.
I got a couple of boxes from Suragaya this week. It is all books. I got some pretty good stuff. I got the programs for Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F and Dragon Ball Super Broly. Neither of them is like the perfect kind of what I wanted out of them. I wanted them both to have like all of Toriyama's like character designs for those movies. Broly is a really nice high quality program which does not have that. Resurrection F has all that, but is a nice little like paperback size, so it will sit on a shelf nicely with your Dragon Ball paperbacks. So, you know, I'm perfectly happy to have the artwork though. So, you know, I'd have preferred the bigger size for that, but that's cool. Also semi-related to that, they finally got in the reprint pack of Shonen Jump that had one of the color chapters of the fight with Frieza and the one of the major the last fight, the last chapter of the fight with Rao and Fist of the North Star. So it's kind of funny to look at those too, because there's just so many pages where like advertisements have been removed, and there's just basically a nice blue panel with explanation in Japanese of why things aren't there. But just yeah, I wish I had been getting that like as it was coming out in 1990, because just like the Dragon Ball one, that is, because just like so many things in that issue that are, you know, worthwhile. Dragon Ball JoJo, Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai, just tons of just really great comics. On the Gundam side of things, I got a bunch of fun reference books. I turns out there was another strategy guide for Gundam Battle Operation 1. I own that now. I'm basically trying to get every book I know exists about the game, since the game technically does not exist anymore. And I was hoping this would be a little bit later, so it would have more data and, you know, some more of the changes that came to the game. It was a live service game, so it looked a lot different at the end than it did at the beginning. But at the end of the book, there is like a scoop on the upcoming RX-78-2 Gundam and Gelgug, so no, it is not any later. In more general reference books, I got a really nice pamphlet that came with an issue of Gundam Ace at one point of Yoshikazu Yasuhiko's keyframes for the Gundam movies. He is, you know, one of my favorite artists. It's and just that he did some tremendous work on those movies. If you've never seen the movie version of the original Gundam, the new animation for that, new as in, you know, from 1980 and 81 instead of 1979, on a significantly better budget, just absolutely gorgeous stuff. Also got a replica of the script for the first of the 3 Gundam movies. I thought it was something different, but I'll take it. And just the like best thing I got this week though is back in 1980 when Gundam was really starting to hit big in Japan. Sunrise itself put out a series of 6 hardcover reference books detailing the making of the series, character design art. There's like a great fake sales poster in there for the electric cars in the series, which, you know, come to think of it, would not look super out of place next to a Cybertruck, angular as they are. But
I wonder what that's more of a condemnation of, honestly.
hard to say. But one of them is you know, just like the figure Don got, it said it was used. Volume 3 looks like it has never been touched by human hands before. And but those 2 volumes cost me less than $10 each. So
Wow.
I have seen those go for so much more on eBay, it is not even funny. So now I just got to come up with the other 4. Might skip volume 6 because it's just a script book and I can't read it, but you never know. But that is, I think, everything I got this week.
Cool. Chris?
Thankfully not.
Okay, cool. I want to thank our patrons at patreon.com/tfradio. Patrons get an ad-free version of Radio Free Cybertron. You get it a day early at a higher bit rate with a weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcast that's usually posted a few days after that week's RFC. You get unedited episodes of RFC if I make some major edits. Say Don says something crazy, or he punches diecast and in a
Well,
Jerry
no,
Springer.
if he punches diecast, like that's quality content there. We're gonna like lean hard into that.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll definitely be a Patreon thing, though. You got to pay for that.
Yeah, you get the There Goes My Money podcast a week early, and there was a new episode of There Goes My Money posted just today to Patreon at patreon.com/tfradio. Patrons at the touch tier get to be on There Goes My Money, and you also get to be mentioned on the show each week at tfradio.net/credits, and it's the first of the month, which if that means it's the best time to sign up for our Patreon. If you haven't already, you can go to patreon.com/tfradio to sign up. And if you're a touch patron again, you get to be mentioned on the show and listed at tfradio.net/credits. And this is the time when we do that. Kevin Dorsey, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Bratton, Emmett Stresovich, Hector Bones, Jay Klein Rye, Joey Russell, Here's Why It's Cool, Rabbits, Rick Mahurin, Ryan Bona, Sean Hamilton, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob and Trickster. Thank you all so much. Again, if you want to sign up, go to patreon.com/tfradio. If you want to support the show, but you don't want to sign up to a commitment like Patreon, you should use our Amazon link at tfradio.net/Amazon. Just buy whatever. You can buy toilet paper, toothpaste, candy bars, G.I. Joe figures, whatever. Amazon will send us a few cents. It'll help us out. You can find all of our crap at tfradio.net going back to 1999. Just do that. You can find me at briankilby.com. That's where all my stuff is. That's all you need to worry about. Rob Springer not here. He is at that Robo Rob Springer on Twitter at Zone.
Is he?
Yeah.
That Robo Rob Springer?
No, he is at Robo Rob Springer. I've been up like 20 hours. I'm so sleepy. He is at Robo Rob Springer on Twitter. And he is at zonebase.bsky.social on Blue Sky. And he is at zonebase.org. Diecast, how do people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold on me on Blue Sky and Twitter at Diecast2. You can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. And you can see my reviews at youtube.com/RFC Reviews or tfradio.net/reviews.
Don.
I'm reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. I can also be reached on Blue Sky at HMRC4EVR.bluesky.social. I also have an Amazon wish list, which is thankfully cheaterless at the moment, at tfradio.net/donlist.
John.
That John D everywhere.
Matt.
Melvar.bsky.social. That's with 3 L's and 2 R's. I understand Blue Sky has gifts now, so I might log in and check that out again. But honestly, being off of social media for the most part is much better for my mental health.
Yeah,
Same,
it really
same.
is.
It really
Mood.
is. It really is. Chris?
I'm on Blue Sky. Even though being off of social media is better for one's mental health, that is completely correct. But you can find me there as Chris RTXV. My photography work that I've done is collected at playwithphotography.com. I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/chrislist. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not throw out a mention to our wonderful Discord community, which you can come and be a part of and join us for the live recording every Wednesday night at tfradio.net/Discord.
Rob?
Sorry, had to unmute. I am on social media at robflails.bsky.social. It is probably not good for my health. I'm there anyway. Over on YouTube, though, at youtube.com/flailthroughs, I am having much better time of things. This week, I held a drawing for some Gundam Seed Freedom tickets. That seems to have gone pretty well. Also got to break some news about the launch edition of Gundam Breaker 4. And beyond that, Gundam Battle Operation 2 is going along. There will be an update on the new mobile suit for the week tomorrow morning. And if you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can support me. And I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/claylist.
Awesome. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. We will be back next week. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
Night all.
Recording stopped.
Hey, so people watching live, I'm really, really sleepy. So I am going to kill the stream, starting with Twitch, because it's easiest. Goodbye, Twitch. And next comes our favorite, which is the YouTube. You're next. And good Lord, I'm tired. Bye, YouTube.